Hey there, I'm Felicia with Compass Land USA, your go-to resource for great deals on rural and vacant land. Brand new land blog video to share with you today. We're going to look at the 5 red flags to look for when buying land for investment in Colorado. So land investing is admittedly much more simple than buying homes, commercial, industrial buildings, but it's not totally binary, right? There are many factors to consider before you sign on that dotted line. And it's well worth consulting with professionals to ensure that you're on the right track. So the first thing you need to look for when buying land for investment in Colorado is utilities and access. A huge red flag to look for when buying land for investment in Colorado is that there is access to the land by road and that all required utilities will have the ability to provide service to that location, which isn't always a given. This information is better for you to know before buying your land and feeling stuck in a bad situation. You may need to work with neighbors to provide you with entry to your land, which could end up being costly if you've already purchased and then you're at the mercy of a total stranger. That's what people refer to as an easement. You may have an easement along a boundary of your new property, and that's okay. Often they're in place to allow utility companies and the county access for maintenance and install. You can work with your neighbors to have them sign an amendment to a deed granting you an easement so you can access your property. If your property does not have utilities in place, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. In many places in Colorado, you can drop a well or install septic, or you can have water delivered, or you can haul it in yourself. You have options. And if you're unsure about utilities, no worries. There are ways for you to figure it out on your own. We have a video that might help you. I'll put it in the description here for you. Speaking of neighbors, another red flag to look for when buying land for investment in Colorado is an obvious use of the property by your neighbors, which may give them rights to the property in the event that any part of the land has been used for a prolonged period. So let's say, for example, that your neighbor has a fence around their property. And it kind of looks like that fence is over their property line and is actually built onto your property. Depending how long that fence has been there, and if the previous owner knew about it or not, the couple of feet that they have built onto your property might actually just become part of their property. And I know that doesn't sound quite right. Unfortunately, if the previous owner that you bought the land from knew about the fence, didn't bother to say anything, and if the fence has been there for a while, you might have a very tough go of getting it removed or modified. Unpermitted use of the land is one of the reasons we suggest that you or a personal representative pay someone to go out there. Want to make sure you are physically observing any real estate before you purchase. You should also pay attention to the smells coming from nearby properties or anything else that could inhibit your full use and enjoyment of the land in the future. You'll want to ensure that undeveloped land hasn't become a local dump site for trash either. Another aspect of the neighboring homeowners to consider, homeowners and landowners, right, depending what kind of area you're in, something else to consider there is their attitude towards your proposed land use, especially if you are seeking rezoning. This could cause a lot of problem, a lot of tension in the neighborhood, right? Another big flag to look for is the zoning and how it could interfere with your intended purpose for the land. Each county, and sometimes municipalities actually, will have their own zoning ordinance. You can try finding the ordinance in the Municode library database. It's online, totally free. You can also try finding the ordinance on the county's website. In addition, there are many agencies involved with land and various laws governing land use at federal, state, and local levels. Other concerns regarding environmental impacts and protected species, for example, if you've already done the deal, you'll own land that you can't use as you want to. Another red flag to look for when buying land for investment in Colorado is an oddly shaped property, sometimes the very shape of which could inhibit your intended use of the property. Like if you're trying to get a square through a round hole, not going to work out. And a lot of areas of Colorado, like Forbes Park, for example, which is east of Alamosa, if you're not familiar with that area. So in Forbes Park, property boundaries are marked with red flags. You should know that these aren't always professionally done. Sometimes people just tack them up. They might show a rough estimation, but they're not 100% accurate. Another red flag to look for, aside from the actual physical red flags we just mentioned, when buying land for investment in Colorado is someone rushing you to buy when you're unsure about the land values. And it isn't always easy to determine the market value of land, unlike developed real estate, houses, office buildings, etc., where you can easily compare. An appraisal of the land is a strong backup for the asking price. At Compass Land USA, we make the process easy and safe for you to invest in land. Our team will help you step by step so you understand the process and feel great about the deal after closing. And we have a steady inventory of some of the best available land for sale in Colorado. Let us help you find the best fit for your Colorado land investment goals. You can call or text us at any time, 313-349-0434. We're happy to help you out. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That way you're the very first to know when a new property tour or land blog video has been published. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.